guys, I'm in my living room again for a little chat. We've got Lola sleeping under the covers here. That seems to be a theme these days. Me in front of the couch and Lola taking a nap. But I wanted to check in because I wanted to talk about giving yourself permission to change. And the reason this came up is because this morning I dropped my dog, my other dog, Mr. Chompers, off for surgery. I was a hot mess. I cried the entire time we were there, but I had prepped them that I would cry the entire time we're there because that's how I process. But he's fine. He's out of surgery now and I go pick him up this afternoon. I'm very excited. But the people who've known me a long time are shocked that I have a dog, let alone two dogs, let alone dogs that I would cry about at the vet. Because back in the day, I mean, I've always liked animals in the sense that I don't want them harmed and I support them like living good lives, but I didn't necessarily want to own an animal and or be around them much. I wasn't much of an animal person. Well, that all changed when I got Mr. Chompers about 8 years ago, about 7.5, 8 years ago. And now it's completely different. I cry when he has to have surgery. The dogs get stockings at Christmas. They get Easter baskets. I really spoil them, obviously, because the last so many videos have had blankets in the background for the dogs. And my point with that is, even though I kind of had a stance on not wanting to own an animal, I changed my mind. I gave myself permission to change my mind. I didn't have to keep being that person that didn't want to own an animal. I, over time, decided that I think an animal would be a good companion. And so, over time, I grew and I evolved and I realized, no, I think I do want an animal. Now, like I said, to this day, 8 years later, I still have people that gasp and say things like, I can't believe you have a dog. For some people, they kind of put me in this box of what I am or who I am, and I was somebody who wouldn't own an animal. And so it's interesting to see them try to evolve and adjust to my changes. And that's something we talk about in therapy too. When I talk to my clients and we do the initial intake, is I tell them that there's benefits and risks to therapy. And one of those risks is that even though you may be changing in a positive direction for yourself, the people around you may not respond to that change well. And that's not to say that people in my life haven't responded to me having a dog well. It's just that the change is disruptive to their lives because they, again, had me in this place of who I was. And when I got an animal, or two animals now, it kind of threw what their system was out of whack because they had me in this one place. They had me in this one role. And when I changed roles, it kind of threw their whole system off. My point with all this is I want to give you permission to change. That you don't have to be who you were in the past. You don't have to be who others think you are. You don't have to be even who you have thought you were. If you for so long kind of lived in a certain identity, but that identity no longer serves you, you have permission to do something different. You have permission to change that identity. You don't have to be the same person you were 5 months ago, 5 weeks ago, 5 days ago, or even 5 minutes ago. You have permission to change your mind and to do and be whatever you want to be. Whatever fuels you in this moment, that's what you can be and that's what you can do. This isn't an easy thing. It's hard to break out of roles. For instance, I still 8 years later get people saying comments to me about me being a dog owner and how they can't believe it and who have I become and they don't even recognize me anymore, even though it's been 8 years. So change isn't easy for anyone. But if you feel called to change something about your life, but you're feeling stuck or you're feeling held back because of how you've identified yourself in the past or how others have identified you, I want to encourage you to take that leap and go ahead and make those changes. I mean, preferably they're positive changes, but I still want you to make those changes. And if you need help, seek out a professional, somebody who can help guide you along those changes and help guide you with the relationships and the system you're in. So if people do react negatively or struggle with your changes, you'll have somebody to go and reference to work through those struggles. You have my permission to change, guys. If you want to be a dog person when you hadn't been in the past, I say go for it. I love my dogs. They've made my life better. And had I stuck to the script and the person I was in the past, I wouldn't have that joy in my life. So, thank you for watching. If you ever have a topic you want me to discuss, just leave it in the comments and have a great rest of your day. Bye.